What's all the P.M.S. with Coach G? It's positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. Are you ready for positive conversations inspiring you to your next level? Do you need motivation to get you growing? Are you a sister, woman, leader, boss, mom, wife, female, her, she? I think you know what I mean. Are you seeking purpose in your life? Do you know the meaning for which you stand? Do you know your style is your unique authenticator? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, this podcast is designed with you in mind, which embodies the whole you mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Sisters, we are on a journey in connecting you from where you are to your what's next with purpose, meaning, style, and it all starts with you. Hi, this is Coach G, your Chief PMS cheerleader, motivating and empowering you to win in your personal and professional life, your connector, guiding you in bridging the gap from where you are to your what's next. I am your leadership and growth coach, strategist, empowerment speaker, author, mom, Christian, and I get to serve you in doing what I am passionate about. You, sisters, we are on a journey for you living your life on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. Thank you for being in this space with me, listening and sharing this podcast, following, commenting, liking, subscribing, all those great things. And as I said, I am here to motivate you, but to create habits in you reaching your success story. And I thank you for giving yourself permission to listen to this podcast and making it a habit in listening every week to educate, inspire, and elevate your growth personally and professionally. This month, we are talking about permission. We are familiar with the permission slips sent home, whether now you're getting them for your children, or maybe when you were in school, when you would come home with that permission slip to go on that field trip or some activity that would be out of the norm from your day to day. But the point of the permission slip was you having a different experience in most cases to help cultivate your growth. I am so excited. We are in episode 71, Permission to Fail. Now, we probably would not want a permission slip to fail, I'm sure. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about permission to fail, how to give yourself permission to fail forward. But before I begin, let me remind you one way you can financially support this show as we continue to show up with other guests to empower you and other women on your personal and professional growth journey, and from the cost of maintaining the show. You can go to the show description and click on the link support the show and make your contribution, which is your voice, a loud voice, in saying, I stand in support of this podcast, how we serve, and what we deliver. In other words, you are being a blessing to this podcast so we can continue to bless others as we empower other women on their journey. So let's talk about this failing. Failing is not a good feeling, but a powerful one to mold you, shape you, speak to you, teach you, and perfect your life's journey. Failing at something means, maybe the fact that you are in the game of your life and getting to know what you are made of. Well, because you know what? You are a winner. So your failures are opportunities to see the unique ways in executing another plan or course of action. So let's give yourself permission to fail. When we think about failing or failure, you know, we we would actually not want to even partake in it, right? If we're totally honest, or even being a thought of failing at something is something we wouldn't really, raise our hands and say, count me in, right? But one thing that I want to share is it may be something you already know when you fail, you're often failing forward because from that failure, you learned something. Okay, I know no one wants to be a part of a, for instance, failing team, because honestly, if you were asked to choose and they told you straight forward, you are on a failing team or you're on the winning team. If you had a choice, which one would you choose? Honestly, we know we will respond and say, I want to be on the winning team. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, we want to win. Let me say this, we are winners. I said that at the beginning. But if you had to grow from something, you often grow from your failures more than your wins. Your wins help you stay motivated. It boosts your momentum and your confidence. But when we fail, let's get real. When we fail, sometimes we fall into a sense of shame or discouragement, embarrassment, and it can involve much more than that, including sabotaging your confidence. But from that failure, you have to realize that means you were bold enough to take action. But now we get to choose courage in the face of failure. You get to give yourself permission to fail forward. And yes, it involves your participation for you to grow into your next. Can we learn from women like Sarah Blakely, founder of the billion-dollar company who created Spanx, an international shapewear brand? Sarah faced extreme number of rejections, can we say failures, from manufacturers who didn't believe in her idea, but her perseverance kept her failing forward, and she became the youngest self-made female billionaire in history. And we know the likes of Vera Wang, a renowned fashion designer, but her career didn't start, as this famous American fashion designer. Vera Wang initially pursued a career in figure skating, but she failed to make the U.S. Olympic team. But that failure didn't stop her. It did not stop her from failing forward. She then realized she wanted to shift her focus, and she worked her way up in the fashion industry by building a successful brand. Yes, sometimes when we fail, it now gives us a new direction. We now shift our focus, shift our perspective in how we can grow into our next. And that's what she did. And of course, the list could go on and on with so many other stories of powerful women who stopped, and although they may have failed, they did not stop. They continued to move forward. And so now let's talk about, why we're here. We're talking about PMS tips. And our PMS tips are talking about, how you can give yourself permission to fail forward. So let's start with something. Let's start with the fact that when you give yourself permission to fail forward, that means you say you will take risk. That's going to be involved. That means you're taking a risk. You never know what you can do until you try. So, straight to the point, let's say this, ask yourself, you may even ask yourself, what are the risks? And then can you say with me, I can take risks in my life? Speak that and know that now you are opening a doorway, giving yourself permission that when you take that risk, if it fails, you realize you are failing forward. And now there's something that you had that you did not have before. And then another one is let go of perfection. Let it go. Perfection can be the pit to pitiful living, procrastination. Let's say that. And, often I do talk about the fact that, you know, I'm a recovering perfectionist, because in that you want everything to be perfect, you know. But in this case, listen to this, allow yourself to dot the I, then cross the T on your way to failing forward. So it doesn't have to be complete, before you start. So, no matter what, no matter if you're crawling, walking, jogging, running, you just find your imperfectly perfect pace. So, can you say with me, I don't have to be perfect? Give yourself permission to let go of that perfectionism. And you know what? Stop procrastinating and keep moving. Take a step. It doesn't matter how the pace is, but the thing is that you are moving forward in that goal, in that dream, in that, thing that you want to pursue. And then it's like cultivate gratitude, the amazing experience and gratitude can cause the shift. We talked about Vera Wang when, started out with figure skating and she made a shift to be a fashion designer. But that that's gratitude. It allows you to shift. Your gratitude is like that step ladder. When you take moments to express and find things to be grateful for, you're able to step into what takes you higher as you're stepping up that ladder. I often even say it is a healing mechanism. I cannot express enough. One of my healing methods is gratitude journaling. In that moment when things seems hectic or overburdened or heavy, that part of just stopping to see in the moment something that you're grateful for, even in that moment of, catastrophic events or, things that just put you in a whirlwind. Just stop and find that center to just take time and find something in that moment that you're grateful for and can shift your attention to that. It's not that we downplay what's happening, at that failure that we're experiencing, but that gratitude now opens another gateway for you. And can you say, I choose gratitude? When you choose that gratitude, you're giving yourself permission to fail forward because even in your failure, you're saying, what am I learning from this experience? And then forgive yourself. Man, okay, when we talk about forgiving ourselves or even sometimes forgiving others, it may not always be an easy thing to do, but forgiveness releases you from the antagonizing pain of self pity or being the victim. You are not pitiful, but powerful. And even for something to extend power, there has to be a charge, right? And a recharge in life. So forgiveness is your charge when you face failure. So can you say with me, I am forgiving myself and others? So give yourself permission in that part of when you're experiencing that failure or have experienced that failure, take time and just forgive yourself. It's okay. And then the last one is just honor the mistakes. You'd say, honor my mistakes. Yes. Do not view your mistakes as inadequacy, but see your mistakes as lessons to grow and develop. Taking responsibility of your actions or circumstances. Yes, we do that because we must embrace what life is teaching you through that failure, through that mistake, but don't see it as the end. See it as you continuing to develop through the processes, through the failures. And can you say with me, I learn from my mistakes? Know that in all of that, just know that your failures are stepping stones to your success. Which brings me to this moment. Thank you for giving me permission to invite you to step into your next goal, whether we're um, failing forward, through the processes, but it's an opportunity for me as your coach to guide you forward, to help you be accountable for the actions and the reactions of what you want to do, what you desire to do, and what see from where you are to your what's next. And all in that, empowering you to win in your life and business on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. And you know what? I want to thank you. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Is it always perfect? No. Is the delivery always perfect? Not necessarily. But you know what? I get to fail forward in this process with you. And I am so thankful for each moment that we have in this. So that could look like, you know, us walking this journey together, you know. And so let's continue to move forward, fail forward, and strive higher. And so, what does that look like? That could be you and I in one on one coaching or leadership growth coaching or keynote speaking, all in a part of taking that next step. And you can go to my website at gstylecoaching.com and touch the contact tab and go to the show description and look in the details and schedule that time and say, let's work together. But in the meantime, share the love with other sisters, with a group, your group, with your community, that you feel like will benefit from this podcast, from the conversations we have, for the guests that come on and the topics of conversation that we have. But in all of that, giving yourself permission because your voice matters. You sharing your comments, subscribing, following, staying connected, rating, all of that helps us continue to improve and grow. And I want to thank you in advance for your support of this show. And in saying all of that, until next time, next week, sisters, let's keep growing because it all starts with you.